matches. We saw the Gauchos of San Diego, UC Santa Barbara defeat Ball State University by the scores of 9-15, 15-8, 15-10, and 17-15 in what was a very exciting match to watch. I'm Colin Leiter along with Lauren Giebert. We're going to bring you tonight's second match, which we hope will be equally as exciting.
Should be a very, very good match. IPFW Mastodons decide to come out and play. San Diego State's going to have their hands full. San Diego State defeated IPFW in the West Coast trip last week in 4 games, very close games. Talking to the players of IPFW and Coach Ball, they made it sound like they get them at home, they're going to have a much better chance of beating them here.
The next live sports event on Channel 6 will be telecast tomorrow evening, March 23rd. Join us for more exciting men's volleyball action when Ball State, San Diego State, UC Santa Barbara come together again in the Don Dome for the 1991 IPFW Spring Fling Tournament consolation match at 6 p.m. and the championship match at 8, right here on Channel 6. Now let's go down to our floor announcer, Mark Banger, and meet the participants in tonight's second match.
A 6'3" senior from Palos Verdes, California, number 8, Mike Schlegel. A 6'6" junior from Malibu, California, number 10, Sean Clark. A 6'8" senior from Bonita, California, number 16, Mike Mataraki. And the captain of the Aztecs, a 6'2" senior from Malibu, California, number 9, Eric Atterbury. The head coaches for San Diego State are Jack Henn and Mark Warner. They are assisted by Andy Aguilar and Mike Snyder. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Volleydons. A 6'4" freshman from Yaco, Puerto Rico, number 3, Norman Almodovar. A 6'3" junior from Minneapolis, Minnesota, number 8, Tom Junkie. A 6'2" sophomore from Caguas, Puerto Rico, number 9, Raul Papaleo. A 6'9" freshman from Woodburn, Indiana, number 10, Loy Ball. One of the 2 co-captains, a 6'4" senior from Belleville, Illinois, number 14, Tony Lunig. And the other co-captain, a 6'5" senior from Albuquerque, New Mexico, number 15, Fred Malcolm. IPFW's head coach is Arnie Ball. He is assisted by Dennis Johnson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand and sing along with Miss Kathy Dunwitty.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does
Thank you, Kathy Dunwitty. We begin our second match of the evening. Our very own 11th ranked IPFW Mastodons take on the 3rd ranked San Diego State. Should be a very interesting match. The Aztecs of San Diego and the Mastodons of Fort Wayne. San Diego enters tonight's action with a 13-3 record. Four of the players ranked among the nation's statistical leaders are Eric Edeberry, he's 8th with a .419 aces per game and tied for 18th with a 37% hitting. That's very impressive percentage at hitting at 37%.
They're a great side-out team. Got to make sure that we pass well, play some good defense out there.
And the freshman Volleyball starts it off. San Diego into the net. Point goes to the Mastodons.
Dons break on the scoreboard first. Good tough serve by Volleyball.
That one, Tony Looning and Fred Malcolm having a little trouble penetrating the net.
Sean Clark beats it down the front. Side out to the Aztecs.
Clark will serve out of Malibu, California. Raul Papaleo outside to Tony Looning. And he hits that one off the block. I don't think we're going to see the Mastodons being intimidated by a 3rd-ranked team. They're playing with a lot of confidence nowadays.
They saw them just a week ago, play them a tough match.
Papaleo serving outside to number 16. Mataraki.
6'8" senior out of Bonita, California. Big hitter out there.
Big physical player, Mataraki. Number 9, Eric Edeberry to serve. Almodovar off the block. A freshman out of Puerto Rico. A young team for the Dons, but playing very, very experienced. Fred Malcolm with an aggressive serve. Time, Aztecs can't get that one over. Point goes to the Dons. They lead game 1, 2-0.
Very aggressive serving on the part of the Dons.
As we saw on match number 1, it was the Midwest against the West Coast.
Just a week ago, IPFW faced the same team out in California on their trip. We're leading in their first game.
Almodovar with a nice pass back to Looning. He blasts that one in. Tony Looning out of Belleville, Illinois. He's the senior captain.
Great choice by Volleyball that time. Got him one-on-one. Here we see it again. The back set, one blocker up, and Tony kills it.
Tom Junkie this time going up very aggressively. Miscommunication by the Aztecs. IPFW goes up 3-0 over San Diego.
Last week when they were playing, the Dons were leading when Norman got hurt.
Volleyball sets it up. Papaleo sets in. He's an ex-setter for the Dons. And Almodovar hits that one down the line. Very fired up IPFW team.
Dons thought they could have beat them last week if Norman hadn't got hurt. They want to prove it tonight.
Looning still serving, going for the short serve. Very nice serve. Aztecs have a lot of trouble with that one. Very nice
timeout
serve.
to the Aztecs.
Aztecs will call the first timeout as IPFW leads game 1, 5-0. Very quick start.
Great start by the Dons. Coming out, serving aggressively. Hitting the ball well. Passing the ball on target. They're really starting to play well, and it's going to show here tonight.
As I mentioned, IPFW is starting to play with a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence. That really helps when you're in full mental capability.
They asked the Aztec coach, Jack Henn, how would you compare the West Coast teams to the Midwest teams?
Outside to the big guy, number 10, Sean Clark. But he hits that one wide. IPFW extends their lead 6-0 in game one. Mooning going for the short serve again. Mataraki back set, second option, no blocker there. The left-hander Schlegel puts that one down. 6'3" senior out of Palos Verdes.
Matarucci showing he can pass the ball as well as hit it.
That one he's going to serve long. Like his fellow West Coast team, the Gauchos, not having an impressive match in serving area.
Oh.
He couldn't get out of the way. Norman Almaldivar, that's happened more than once this year for him. He's picked off Stefan Stamato from Ball State with a jump serve. Again, he goes after him. Tight. Tom Junke's there. Sean Clark throwing a few words across the net.
Two very competitive teams.
Mike Schlegel, and he serves that one long.
The Aztecs showing a little jitters out here. Can't quite get into the good groove yet. Hope the Dons can finish him off here in this first game.
Tom Junkie, a nice low floater. Out of the backcourt, Mataraki. 6'8" senior from Bonita, California. Tremendous leaper as well as being tall. Almaldivar, nice pass. Dumped by Volleyball. Almaldivar's there. Malcolm sets it out to Raul Papaleo. And he uses the block. Raul, he's only 6'2". He takes on the 6'6" blocker of Clark. Volleyball serving for the Volleyball, a freshman out of Woodburn, Indiana. And Sean Clark answers with that one.
Back one ball off the head of Tony Looning, it looked like that time.
Clark going after Almaldivar, and he passes it nicely. Back set to Fred Malcolm. Schlegel's there. That one is hit way wide and long.
He launches that one into the bleachers.
One of the stat leaders for San Diego.
Papaleo back to serve for the Dons.
Back set to number 4, John Ross. The assist will go to Evans. Evans being the shortest one out on the court at 6'1". Out to Almaldivar. He uses the block again. Almaldivar has been injured the past week and a half with a shoulder injury. He's coming around nicely tonight. The Don stuck on 7 for a while. Malcolm serving, trying to get him off. And there it goes.
Schlegel launches another one.
The left hand of Schlegel gives IPFW point number 8. San Diego State just not getting anything going right now. Schlegel, off-speed shot. Papaleo can't get it. John Ross, a 6'5" junior out of Chatsworth, California, will serve for the Aztecs. Papaleo with a pretty pass. Malcolm out of the backcourt. One of the most effective backcourt hitters in the country is Fred Malcolm out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Fred hits a very hard, very flat ball out of the back row, and it's very tough to dig. Tony
Looning all score some points for the Dons last rotation. Sean Clark out of the back row, and Lloyd Ball at 6'9", doesn't want that one to get by him. Lloyd Ball saw some national team playing time this summer. Looning goes for the short one. That time it falls into the net. The Dons 9-0 over San Diego State, the 3rd-ranked team in the country. IPFW playing like the #1 team in the country.
Great start here at home.
Tom Junkie cannot stop that man out of the middle. When you're passing well, Tom Junkie is one of the most effective hitters out of the middle.
Here we see that last play again. Great pass right on target. Junkie goes up and beats it down. Serve is just long by Almodovar. Side out to the Aztecs.
Dons playing very good side out ball. Great passing by the Dons. Aztecs have a chance to get the first point on the board. He rolls it, the Looning's there, no problem. And Volleyball puts that one down.
Front row player, Roy can jump in front of the 10-foot line and hit that ball down. Here we see it again, a great pass right on target.
He's very quick with that left hand. Big block by Fred, Malcolm, and Volleyball. Make it 10-0 over the Aztecs of San Diego.
Great start by the Dons. Let's hope they can put it together for 3 complete games.
Tom Junkie. It's going out. It's a free ball to the Dons. Almodovar with a great pass. Out of the backcourt is Looning. Could drop, but it's not. Looning with the dig. Almodovar kicks it high to Papaleo. We have a touch call. Raul Papaleo, the Mastodons, number 11 team in the country, playing some incredible defense. Junkie going low and floating. That's a service ace. IPFW 12-0 over San Diego State.
San Diego State acting a little shell-shocked right now. Weren't expecting to come out here and face such a fired-up team. Right now we're going to have an interview with Coach Hen as he tells how would you compare the West Coast teams to the Midwest teams.
They're somewhat similar because we try to copy our national team program, and so that the players that come out of the universities that move into the national program have already got to step up on most of the other schools. In respect to the other part of the question about the West Coast schools, there used to be a very wide gap between the West Coast schools and Midwest, but now the last 2 or 3 years has seen that more top athletes are getting into volleyball in the Midwest and East, and so consequently the gap has really closed a lot.
Action.
So true by Coach Hen.
Left block.
Big
by
block.
Ball on the 1 ball. 13-0 here in game 1.
Coach Hen is so right. The gap is closing. We're seeing a tremendous change of gaps here. Mataraki, the nice dig by Almodovar, but it's going to send it wide. The adrenaline is flowing very rapidly on the Don side. San Diego State wondering what's going on. Evans serving for the Aztecs. Outside to Papaleo. Sweet juke set by Volleyball and Raul Papaleo out of Puerto Rico. Some like to refer him to, compare him to Karch Karai. Doesn't let his emotions get a rise. This is a free ball to IPFW. And big block by Mataraki. Nice job by the Aztecs scrambling to get that ball that could have easily been a service ace. Sean Clark going after Almodovar, and they're passing very well. Papaleo.
Good shot right back in the corner. Nobody's going to touch that one.
You put that ball in those boxes in the corners. Defense is not there.
Papaleo back to serve for the Dons.
Free ball to IPFW. Time it sends it up. Net violation by number 4, John Ross. This sets up game number 1 to IPFW. Could make it 15 Schneid.
This crowd would love to see a Schneid game right here.
Tough serve by Papa. It's outside to Mataraki. Looning tries. The big 6'8" guy out of Bonita, California.
Eric Ederberry back to serve for the Aztecs.
Almodovar doing some nice passing out to Almodovar. Tries to drive that one down. That's going to put the Aztecs on the board for the first time in game one. It's 14-1.
Came close to the snide. They had a chance.
Almodovar with some nice passing. Second option to Malcolm. He puts that one away. The passing for IPFW is just incredible, Colin. There's no stopping their offense when they put the ball up to Loy Ball.
Right now, they're playing with a lot of confidence. Here we see that last play again, right on target.
And again, to Mataraki, keeps the Aztecs going.
Off the block and out of bounds. Staving off another game point.
Out of the backcourt, Malcolm. Again, tremendous passing by the Dons. Norman Almodovar and Raul Papaleo.
Everything's right on target, and that makes running the offense so much easier for Loy Ball.
It makes the entire game easier. Even when the ball comes over, free ball, the Dons easily putting that ball up to Loy. And he's taking charge. Aztecs right now don't know where he's going. He's going to throw it down. He's going to go to backcourt to Fred Malcolm. What he's going to do. Looning going after Edabari. Looning with the dig. It's trouble. He's going to have to kick it high out to Mataraki. It's inside. Big block by Tom Junkie and Norman Almodovar. They take game one, 15-1 over the Aztecs of San Diego.
This crowd's really getting fired up. Dons came out of the starting blocks. Both guns blazing. They take that game. Here we see that last play again.
Tom Junkie. We see a little deflect. Here it comes over. You see the set's really set way inside. Norman Almodovar setting the block and the junk man putting it down.
Tom did a great job of dropping that inside hand and penetrating the net, dropping that hand, and it went straight down.
IPFW pretty much flawless in game one.
Now we're going to take a quick break and ask Arnie Ball, which team is stronger, San Diego or UC Santa Barbara?
Well, Mike Mataraki, who's about 6'8" or 6'9", poses a big threat right away, just because of his size, and he's a real good attacker and does some real nice things for them. Brian Schlegel is the #1 passer, left-handed boy that jumps real well and hit in a couple rotations about 700 or 800 against us out there. And Sean Clark, who is another middle for them, also played real well for us. So those are the three players that offensively create the most problems for us.
And Coach Ball is so true, and Mataraki being a tremendous offensive threat for the Aztecs of San Diego. Schlegel not seeing a lot of sets, and Edabari not seeing a lot of sets.
That has to do with the tough serving and the maybe poor passing of the Aztecs. When they can't get the ball up there to the setter with any consistency, you can't run your offense, and it takes a lot of the big hitters out of the offense.
IPFW playing too well right now. Passing the ball very well and consistent, or just unbelievable.
Right now they got to make sure that they don't play too much on emotion, get caught up in thinking that this first game means the match is over. But being a third-ranked team that the Aztecs are, they didn't get that way by rolling over after losing one game.
Now the Dons have to come out twice as hard as they did in game one. Being satisfied with just winning one game proves to cost you a match sometimes. So they need to come out in game two just a ball of fire. And how can you come out any stronger than what they did in game one?
Took a 14-0 lead before the Aztecs even broke through onto the scoreboard. They got to keep that pressure on the Aztecs. This crowd's getting into it, and that's going to help the Dons. Dons keep playing, the crowd's going to keep cheering. It's going to make playing that much easier for the Dons.
It's tough to play on the home court of the Dons. There's so many people that come to watch these matches. They get into it. They all favor the Dons. And and it's hard to keep them quiet. It's fun to play in front of a big crowd, and the Dons are really coming alive. Fine-tuning their skills for the MIVA Conference Tournament, which will be held at Ball State.
So we see part of this big crowd here enjoying the match.
Let's take a look at right now at the MIVA standings. IPFW is in first with a 4-0 record. Ohio State in second with a 2-1 record. Ball State in third with a 1-2 record. And the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee in fourth place with an 0-4 record. The winner of the conference gets a bye into the, well, excuse me, not a bye. They will play the fourth place team, which is an upper hand in the tournament. Out to Papaleo. The Dons come out just as strong as game one. So, Colin, do you think San Diego, do you think they feel that that was just a big fluke, or are they going to give the Dons the respect they deserve for that?
They've got to give them a little respect. They saw them last week. They know how they are.
Looning hits that wide.
Sean Clark back to serve for the Aztecs. Serves it wide.
Sean Clark, another service error for the Aztecs. The Aztecs not serving well at all tonight. Papaleo back to serve, a quick attack, and Lloyd Ball's there, but he shanks it off into the wall.
John Ross with the quick one ball out of the middle.
Number 9, Eric Edeberry, 6'2" senior out of Malibu, California, will be serving for San Diego State. Serves that one, and Moldovar can't handle it. Outside to Schlegel. And there we see the Dons passing, breaking down just a little bit. And the Aztecs take advantage, but it's very early game. In game two, we see that last play, Schlegel left-handed, tooling the right arm of Tony Looning. Moldovar with a nice pass again, out back. That one's touched. Mataraki with a straight down block, but forgot to turn his hands to the middle of the court. As soon as that ball touches your hands, turn those hands into the middle.
Fred Malcolm with a great serve back in the...
Mataraki sends that one into the bleachers. If the bleachers weren't there, I think we would have seen that one end up at the Student Union building.
People in the front row better stay awake in this match.
Schlegel with a pass, back set to Schlegel, and the blockers not communicating. Score is 1-1 in game two.
Don's using man on blocking. Didn't stay with the man that time.
Moldovar with a nice pass. He's back out to Moldovar. Puts that one down the line.
Looks like they're going to pick on the shorter blocker, Tagore Evans. He's only a 6'1" senior.
Looning going short with a service ace. Cranks up the Dons again. It's 2-1. The Dons lead game two.
Looks like they're going to attack Edeberry with the serve. Give it
He
back
goes
to him
short,
again.
going back to Mataraki. That's tough. That's trouble. Out of the backcourt, Sean Clark. Not going anywhere with that one. The serving by IPFW and Tony Looning being proving to be very effective tonight. Very aggressive serving. Edeberry, Schlegel, Papaleo's there.
Great hustle by Raul that time to get that ball up. Just got to keep it on our side of the net.
Mike Mataraki, a 6'8" senior. That one's up tight. Loy Ball trying to finesse it backwards, but doesn't get a hand. The net seems to be his enemy on that.
Tried to get a little too cute. Got to keep the ball over.
Aztecs take the lead, 3-2. Tom Junkie hitting around Sean Clark. We got to go up with 2 blockers, as we discussed in match 1 against Kevin Furnish and Stamato. You need 2 blockers on the quick tack, or they're going to hit around you at will. Here we see that last play. Chunky. Schlegel. That time into the corner. Mike Schlegel starting to turn it on a little bit. As Coach Ball discussed, Mataraki and Schlegel being their 2 key players, and Schlegel starting to turn on. Back row to Tony Looning. Raul Papaleo steps into Looning. Tony Looning couldn't get his feet on that one.
Back row player, he had to take off from behind that 10-foot line.
He tried, he gave everything he had, but that ball was set on top of the net. No matter if you were front row or back row, that ball's tight.
Tom Junkie back to serve for the Dons.
Edabari. That time, Fred Malcolm is on that one. Evans tried everything he could to bring that back to Clark, but it still was a little too tight when you got 6'5" Fred Malcolm across the other side of All-American.
Here we see it again. Fred dumping it back on him.
Service ace by Tom Junkie. That puts the Dons up 5-3. In game 2, they won game 1 14-1, or excuse me, 15-1. Schlegel just having a terrible time out there passing, but Junkman putting a lot of heat on the ball.
Tom Junkie not serving the ball real hard, but he's got a lot of movement on it, and Schlegel's really struggling with it.
We have an interview with Coach Henn. And the question is, how have you prepared your team for this tournament?
Well, we have just, of course, known we were coming to the tournament for some time and just kept everything in the proper perspective. I don't think we've done anything differently preparing for this tournament. We still have about 7 league matches to play once we get back to the West. So we kind of gear up our whole season to finishing off. So this is just another step along the road.
Okay, Coach Henn there saying we got 7 league matches left to play. They've got a long ways to go in their league. And this isn't a good way to kick off their last 7 matches. Junkie going after Edaberry. Sean Clark that time puts it away.
Sean Clark trying to get his team fired up down there. They got to start playing with some emotion like the Dons did in the first game.
Gregory Evans, 6'1" senior out of Malibu. He'll serve for the Aztecs. Papaleo right up for Lloyd Ball, and that time he tools Sean Clark.
Looked like Clark was ready for him to tip it. Lloyd just made a great shot and got his hands, wiped it off out of bounds.
Lloyd brings out the jump serve tonight after Edabar. He's not passing well. That time, though, he crushes the ball inside. Norman back into the corner a little bit too far.
Got to come up into the court just a little bit. That way you play the ball in front of you. And anything that's up that you can play standing up, you can let go out of bounds.
Almodovar putting it up tight. Malcolm punches it over. And Looning comes out the winner against the 6'8" Mataraki. Tony Looning, very physically strong player. Put the ball up like that. I'd put money on Tony any day.
Right now the Dons are really winning the battle at the net. They're really dominating up there. They got to keep it up for the full 3 games though. Leading game 2 here, 6-3.
The 6'2" sophomore out of Puerto Rico, Raul Papaleo. Lloyd Ball with this laid out dig. It's up high. Looning's going to hit it. But we have a 4-hit call. It's a nice job by Tony. He was really ready to hit the ball. He just let the ball come down too far and swung by his ear instead of a great extension above his head.
Set that high. You got to work on trying to hit the ball deep into the corners. Keep the ball in play.
Nice play by Lloyd Ball. Edaberry serves that one underneath the net. If I were Coach Ball, I'd go right back at him with a serve. He's got to be thinking about that. Boom, Fred Malcolm with a service ace. Puts the Dons ahead, 7-3.
Got nothing but varnish on that serve. It just fell off the table and fell 4 feet in front of everybody.
That ball just dropped right off. Another floater to Edeberry. Out to Schlegel, high off the block. Defensive IPFW seemed to be sucking into the court a little bit that time. Especially as high hitters as San Diego State are. Especially Middleback needs to stay way back and get those deflect shots off the block.
Time Raul tried to creep in and anticipate where it was going.
Luning off the block, great shot. And he'll go back to serve.
Passing has just been excellent by Papaleo and Almodovar.
I think Coach Ball is going to stick with that two-passer system. Schlegel on the right side, and he tools Junkie. Junkie just flying over to the left side to catch up with Almodovar.
The Aztecs starting to get into a little groove here now.
Mataraki will serve. Junkie blasts that one off of Ross.
There's no way he was getting out of the way. Junkie just hit that ball. Here we see it again, a perfect pass by Papaleo.
Nice play by Tony Luning. Papaleo sets a quick attack to Tom Junkie. Raul Papaleo was the quarterback for the Dons last year. You got to respect his position on the right front. Has those hands.
Great defensive play by Tony Luning.
See it again. Junkie still driving. He knows Raul will set him. The Aztecs have no idea that he would. Almodovar going after Schlegel. Outside to Schlegel. Luning's there. Almodovar brings it back. Big block by the
Junkie
Dons.
with a stuffed block. Great hustle in the backcourt. And a great block by Tom Junkie and Roy Ball. Anticipating that the free ball pass is going to get set to the one ball in the middle. Two blockers up. Here we see it again. Two blockers up, and Junkie stuffs it down.
Junkman with 3 stuffed blocks in this match. Almodovar serving for point number 10. Going into double digits. Out of the backcourt is Mataraki. Off-speed shot. Tony Luning was going for it. Then he thought Norman had it. So he laid back a little bit. And usually when you hesitate for just a fraction of a second, you'll miss a ball. Schlegel to Papaleo with another pass. And Junkie, Sean Clark's there on that one. Pointing through the net at Junkie.
One of the few times Junkie's been stopped in the middle.
Sean Clark going after it. Off of Junkie's head. The Dons, a little breakdown. But the strong passing of Papaleo and Almodovar should prove to come out of this. Malcolm out of the backcourt. And there's no stopping Fred Malcolm out of that right side position.
Great pass again, right on target. They got to respect Tom Junkie in the middle. No blockers up for Fred.
Tom Junkie going after Edeberry. Passes that one off the net. He's going to have to go high to Mike Mataraki, and Tony Luning having trouble with that one.
Tony thought he should have had that one. Got just enough of the net to throw him off.
And the quarterback, Evans, serving outside to Papaleo. A lift called by Tom Pingle, the up official.
San Diego State creeping back into this match. It's now 9-6 in favor of the Dons.
Patience plays a big key right now for the Dons. Evans coming, charging up the line, not ready for Loy Ball to throw that one down.
Back there admiring his serve. You got to serve the ball, then rush into the court, get to your base defense, and get set.
Back into the corner, no. Serves long, very aggressive serve though by Loy. Edeberry almost didn't get out of the way on that one. Sean Clark back to serve for the Aztecs. Almodovar again with the pass right there. This time, Mataraki's all over that.
And we have a timeout by Coach Arnie Ball.
Wants to
Settle the Dons down.
discuss a few things, get them right back into the game.
We're going to have a quick interview with Coach Arnie Ball and ask him how he prepared the Volleyball for this tournament.
We haven't had much time to prepare. We got back last weekend from playing San Diego State. Took Sunday off, practiced a little bit Monday and Tuesday, and played Graceland on Wednesday. And then yesterday, tried to do some things that we hope that they're going to do, and preparing to make some different alignments and matchups that would hopefully make us a little more successful against them.
Success is the word tonight for the IPFW Mastodons. They've been successful in game one, winning 15-1, and are successful in game two. They're ahead 9-7 over Aztecs of San Diego. Papaleo puts it up to Volleyball, out to Looning. Nice dig by the Aztecs. Looning hitting high and deep. You won't see Looning get blocked straight down unless he brings his arm down.
Schlegel
Stops
must
his
have
reach.
thought he saw a touch on that, because that ball was well out of bounds if he would have let it go.
Papaleo going after Schlegel. Mataraki snake arms that one inside. Aztecs starting to pick up their passing a little bit and their intensity in this game. Almodovar still passing well. No touch on that one. Almodovar sends it long. The Aztecs closing the gap. They make it 8-9. Middlebury serving for the Aztecs. Almodovar puts that one right on target. Back set to Looning. High off the hands. Middlebury's back. Sends the players of San Diego over to their coach and the rest of the bench.
Fred Malcolm back to serve for the Dons.
I'll set to Schlegel. That time, Almodovar to Looning. Clark standing there. That one's going back out to Schlegel. Dons playing a little bit more timid than game one, but still controlling game two. They're ahead 9-8. As John Ross he'll go back to serve. Sends a free ball to the Aztecs. Schlegel on the right side. Big block by Junkie and Almodovar. Back again to Schlegel. Again with the block. Outside to Mataraki. Standing around waiting for somebody to get the ball. The Dons let that one drop. That'll tie things up at 9 apiece in game two. This is the best 3 out of 5 game match. This is the 19.
Good blocking up by the Dons.
Excellent blocking. Pressing their hands in front of them. Penetrating the net. Malcolm out of the back court. Yet to be stopped out of that right position. Tony Looning, the co-captain for the Dons.
And have a substitution for the Dons. Backcourt specialist number 2, Mike Steiner, going to come into the match for the first time. Give Tony Looning a well-deserved rest.
Mike Steiner, a very big key player on defense. See if he can get the Dons off of number 9. Goes to Edeberry, passes that one up. Schlegel, Steiner's there. Almodovar out to Volleyball. He'll send that one. Sean Clark hits that one outside the antenna. Mike Steiner showing why he needs to come into this match.
Point number 10 for the Dons. Mike Steiner coming in, serving tough, getting the big dig.
He's a 5'8 junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Schlegel puts that one inside.
Lloyd Ball that time floated outside a little bit. Schlegel buried the ball inside the block.
Mike Mataraki will serve for the Aztecs. Almodovar passes up right up to Lloyd. Tom Junkie tries to throw that one back. That time, no touch.
I'm sure the Dons have somebody scouting on the bench, but when they go up to hit out of the middle, that deep right corner is open.
Moldovar sends that one off the top of the net and out of bounds. A little breakdown for the Mastodons. Crowd wants them to get it going again. That one's served long.
Nice eye by Norman. Knew it was out all the way.
It wasn't close at all.
Norman will go back and serve now. Need to get the big block up here.
Middlebury having a tough time. Back set. Oh, Papaleo sends that one pretty much straight down.
Great hand action on that block. He really turned both hands in on that ball.
Moldovar serving very nicely. Again, back to Mataraki. That time through the block. Nice job by Mataraki, getting blocked straight down, coming right back, not letting that upset him, and putting the ball away. Need to keep your composure the whole time out on the court. And Mike's doing a nice job of that tonight.
Don's got to keep passing. When they pass, they can side out with anybody. That's what this game is going to come down to right now.
We're tied at 11s in game 2. Malcolm out of the backcourt. Roy Ball with the juke set again. He brought up a couple blockers, leaving Fred Malcolm solo.
Backcourt for San Diego State just gave up on that one as we see it again.
Lloyd little hands like
nobody
he was going to
up.
tip. That time, Edeberry puts that one away. Tagore Evans to serve. Papaleo getting low, nice pass out to net by the Aztecs. Number 4, John Ross.
Tony Looning back into the Don lineup. Nice job by Mike Steiner, who plays a rotation in the back row.
Outside to Eric Edeberry. High over the block. And Junkie staying back like he should.
Sean Clark back to serve for the Dons, or for the Aztecs of San Diego State.
That one served long. Sean Clark not having a good time. That's his 3rd service error tonight in 2 games.
Raul Papaleo back to serve.
Edeberry, the quick attack. That could be a point for the Dons, getting him off point 11. Moldovar tries to give the quick attack. It's out to Mataraki.
Really needed that one. Really needed to connect on that free ball. Got the good block up.
Outside to Moldovar. That time he uses the big guy. Shoulder problems of Moldovar don't seem to be hurting them too much.
Going up and he's swinging, hitting the ball with a lot of power tonight.
It's a free ball. Up to the Dons. Out to Moldovar. Off-speed shot, and Evans is there. Backcourt to Edeberry. Tony Looning throws it deep. Again, there's that physical strength of Looning. And they take the lead in game 2, 12-11 over the Aztecs of San Diego.
That's something I've noticed watching from up here, but San Diego State's left back defense stays right up on that 10-foot line. There's nobody back in that left back corner.
Nice serve by Malcolm. Makes Evans have to bump set it. That time it's hit long. Touch call.
Takes a point away from the Dons there, but they still lead game 2, 12-11. John Ross back to serve.
Almodovar, nice pass to Volleyball, quick attack. Junkie throws it down. Evans just throws out a hand. And then Schlegel tools Tony Luning. And that ties it up at 12 apiece. It's coming right down to the wire in game 2. Almodovar right to Volleyball. It's back out to Almodovar. And Papaleo tries. Metaraki with the big wall. The rock.
Timeout to the Dons.
San Diego State, excuse me. They lead game 2, 13-12 over IPFW.
Going to go to a quick interview with Coach Hen and ask him who is the more competitive team this year, IPFW or Ball State?
Well, you know, it's funny that you asked that question because we've hosted a tournament in the West already this year, and we were kind of figuring on, well, who's it going to be out of the Midwest, IPFW or Ball State? And we were kind of figuring it was going to be Ball State. No offense, but that's just kind of the way we had it figured out in setting up the travel arrangements, because we were going to have the people fly out of Indianapolis. And so, but the way it turned out, IPFW upset Ball State, and so you know, obviously they're a pretty good team. And we found that out when they got out to the West. So
as we saw tonight, Ball State was defeated by Santa Barbara. And IPFW is right in this match.
Mike Schlegel mishit that ball, launched it into the cheerleaders down there in front of the bleachers.
Number 14, Tony Luning, he'll serve for the Dons. Thinks that ball is a little bit too wet. He goes after Edeberry. He's starting to pick it up again. That one high off the block of Almodovar. Schlegel. Eric Edeberry picking up his passing quite a bit from game 1 and half of game 2. Aztecs really need that because they're going after Eric. Mataraki goes after Almodovar. Back set to Almodovar. He tools Schlegel. Mike Schlegel. Edeberry keeps that one back on a 10-foot. Schlegel finds a hole, puts it away. Don's playing with some non-emotion right now. Need to pick it up so they can win game 2.
That's right, they were really high in the first game.
Junkie trying to save that one. Lloyd Ball tries to dump it, and Sean Clark's all over it. Set up San Diego State for game number 2, game point. Malcolm out of the back court. That one's hit wide, and game 2 goes to San Diego State, 15-12.
Well fought game that time. Don's just had a little too many unforced errors at the end there. Passing broke down at critical points. Got to have it for the full 15 points. Got to play with a little more emotion like they played in the first game. Came out a little bit flat in that second game. San Diego State came back, played really well.
Let's ask Coach Ball how he's prepared his team for the Spring Fling tournament.
The only thing you see different is that we've interchanged Norman and Tony. Tony's now playing opposite for us, and Norman's playing outside. Gives us a little more consistency in our blocking patterns and our blocking schemes with our personnel. Other than that, everything will be fairly much the same.
We're seeing a strong Mastodon team. They fell that time to the stronger team of the Aztecs. We're seeing the serving competition, and the server that time puts it through on the bounce. Apparently that doesn't count.
Has to go through in the air. Crowd's not happy with that decision. They want to see a car given away.
That by far, without the net and the floor in the way, would have been a car given away. So the crowd is seeing some things a little bit different tonight, but not a tremendous amount. We're seeing them play like they can play, that's for sure.
That first game, the Dons couldn't do anything wrong. They need to crank it up a little bit, play on some of that emotion that they used in the first game. Can't let San Diego State get in a groove. They're the number 3 ranked team in the country. If they let them get any confidence, could be a quick night for the Dons.
They were leading game 2, I believe it was 7-3, and kind of laid back a little bit.
We'll be back right after these messages.
Every day, 143 elephants are killed for their ivory. Every day. In 25 years, all will be gone. Buy ivory and you kill an elephant. It's that simple. Write the World Wildlife Fund, Washington, D.C.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to IPFW and the Volley Dome, where men's collegiate volleyball action is at its best. It's the 1991 Spring Fling Tournament, and we have the IPFW Mastodons versus the San Diego State Aztecs. Game 1 went to the Dons, 15-1. Game 2 goes to the Aztecs, 15-12. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen in Game 3, Colin.
That's right. Both teams will come out and try to establish some momentum. The Dons can come out and play with some emotion like they played in that first game. They could conceivably blow out San Diego State again. They just need to stay up a little more, continue to pass consistently, and start playing some better defense back there.
If you were allowed to give half games to Dons, they would be ahead 1.5 games to a half over the Aztecs. But as it is, it's 1 apiece. Again, as we talked in the first match, Ball State versus the Gauchos, when it gets to 8, it's when you really need to crank up the heat.
Lloyd Ball starting things off in Game 3.
Clark sends that one up into the rafters.
Clark will now go back to serve for the Aztecs.
Papaleo passing very well, and Fred Malcolm puts that away. There we see the passing coming back for the Dons.
That's definitely one of the keys. Raul is passing really well, and he's got to continue to do that if the Dons are going to have any success.
A high floater kept going out to Mataraki. This one could be up for the Dons. Papaleo sends it up high. And Junkie sends a free ball to the Aztecs. Not a wise thing to do for the number 3 team in the country. Junkie digs it, but it hits the speakers above.
Tom Junkie showing why he's one of the tops on the team in digs. Got to take just a little more off that, keep it in play.
Almodovar back on track with his passing. That one hit down the line and good.
Fred Malcolm back to serve for the Dons, senior co-captain.
That ball dropping again. Looning with the overpass, and Clark's there. Back set to Mataraki. Malcolm's there on that one, but he sends it again into the bleachers. The Dons doing a nice job playing defense. The balls they're getting hands on, though, they're sending a little bit into the bleachers and up into the rafters.
Got to control that ball, not just touch it.
Almodovar. He blasts it off for John Ross, who's waiting down the line for him. Mataraki and Luning's there again, sprays it off. You know things will go well when they start turning those sprays into digs right up to the target.
Both teams passing really well, hitting really well. Doing some great side-out volleyball. Got to see a block put up by one of these teams. Hopefully the Dons.
Out to a Moldovar. Miscommunication sends a free ball to the Aztecs. Outside to Schlegel. And they have their own miscommunications. It was kind of a
sloppy rally all the way around.
Stroke of luck for the Dons. Gave them a free ball and they didn't convert.
Schlegel struggling with that one again.
And he swings that one in between the block. The Dons right now, the intensity is, I would say, twice as low as it was in game one. Just going through the motions right now. Waiting for the Aztecs to break, and they are not going to break unless they put it on them. Papaleo, Schlegel with a great hustle. And that one's set long.
After the great plays we saw in the first two games, all of a sudden we're starting to get a little sloppy. Everybody else waiting for somebody to take charge instead of going out and doing it themselves.
And a net serve by Tom Junkie. When you play the tougher teams, you can't expect them to fold on you. You need to make them fold.
Nice cover by Fred on his own hit.
And Raul Papaleo uses the big hands of Sean Clark.
Well, he's got to keep those 31 sets back off the net and up in the air so Fred can attack it. He's getting trapped with the tight sets on the net.
Volleyball with a jump serve. Schlegel having a tough time, and Looning's all over that one. Quick feed off the floor. Tony Looning puts it back down. That's going to give
points in the NBA right there. Tony jumped all over that overpass. Lloyd's next jump serve is just a little long.
Sean Clark serving way long. The Aztecs having trouble with their serving tonight. Raul Papaleo serves to Eric Edeberry. Quick attack to Ross. Again, they're getting some hands on it. As soon as we see those turn into digs that are playable, we'll see the Dons take advantage of it. And those are the plays that break teams. Schlegel standing right there. We have a net violation.
John Ross in the net again for the Aztecs. Side out to the Dons. Fred Malcolm back to serve.
Trouble its way out, set inside a left-hander, high off the block. Moldovar's there. Junkie sets it tight. We have trouble. No touch that time. The blockers for Aztecs bring their hands down. They see Norman aiming for the bleachers.
Good try that time by Tom Junkie. Not a setter, so he just kicked the ball high. They got a little too tight.
Another net serve by the Aztecs. See if they get things going here. Tony Looning brings out the jump serve. Schlegel puts that one up to Evans. It's back out to Schlegel. And we have Raul and Norman heading to the sidelines for that one.
Great hustle by two of our three Puerto Rican players.
Mike Mataraki serving for San Diego State. Norman has a tough time handling that. That's going to tie it up one apiece in game 3.
Great serve by Mataraki. That one really dropped off the table.
And a service error by the Aztecs. Volleyball right now need to take advantage of those service errors. They keep pressure on this team. They keep making service errors. There's no reason why they should not jump out to a commanding lead. But when you serve the ball out yourself,
got to start playing with a little more consistency.
see Coach Ball there, not very happy with that. Papaleo kicks it out. Looning the back row.
That makes the score 2-1 in favor of San Diego State here in game number 3.
Volleyball Back to John Ross. Tom Junkie wants a touch on that, but they got to block that ball into the court, not out of the court. Aztecs jump to a 3-1. Making a move on the Volleyball. They need to pick up some intensity here. Malcolm out of the back court. Sends that one wide. Dons making the mistakes right now.
Dons trying to get a little too cute right now. They got to go back to what won them that first game, passing the ball on target, good sets, and hitting the ball down.
Papaleo's there. Loy ball kicks it back out to Papa. John Ross digs it over. Looning with the free ball. Loy out of Malcolm out of the back court. Mataraki sends it to the wall. Over to LJ's Volleyball World.
Nice set that time by Loy. Fred got a good approach and really ripped it.
Petterberry with a nice pass backcourt to Mataraki. That time a little off-speed miss shot. Norman Almodovar, very strong hands. And Papa needs to swing at that ball. They're tipping a little bit too much right now. Or they're just happen to be tipping in the wrong place. Aztecs are picking up everything they throw over.
But the Aztecs are playing a lot of the Hoover defense. They're really sucking in behind the block, and it's not a good set. You got to learn to tip the ball deep. Catch them running in, maybe put it over their head into the back third of the court.
Papaleo, nice pass. Malcolm, Schlegel's got that one. Petterberry to Schlegel out of the back court. Almodovar's there. Nice set by Loy. And Mataraki digs that one. Everybody thought Loy ball was going to hit it straight down, but it didn't clear the plane of the net, or even break the plane of the net. Loy ball, the freshman out of Woodburn, Indiana, will serve. Goes deep to Petterberry, and they serve that one out. Tables have turned a little bit for the Dons. They're making the mistakes, and the Aztecs are starting to pick it up a little bit. Looning with the tip and the major grunt to get that one out.
Here we see that last play again. Tony up there.
Papa going for the short sky serve. Mataraki and Fred Malcolm is all over that one.
Got that ball straight down. That was a big time roof on that play.
Out to Petterberry. That time he squeezes that one down the line.
Little mix-up on the Don's blocking assignment. Tony and Fred got tangled up trying to get over there.
Almodovar. Back set to Malcolm. And he puts that one away. Fred Malcolm's on fire.
His hitting percentage has got to be really high. He's only had one error that I can remember.
Serving at Schlegel. Back set to Mataraki. Junkie. Almodovar. Kind of juked Tom Junkie out of that set. Tom wanted to throw it down with his left hand, and Norman jumped in there. Here we see it. Throws it up. Looning gets way down there. Sets it. Junkie wants to tip. Oh, Almodovar's there.
Mike Schlegel answers for the Aztecs. The side out. John Ross back to serve.
He goes after Almodovar. He passes it up. Back out to Almodovar. Coverage is there. Loy ball with some control outside, and Almodovar hits that one into the top of the net. Mistakes are being made by the Dons right now. John Ross still serving for the Aztecs. Tom Junkie. So quick of a set to Tom that the middle hitter doesn't have a chance to get the ball. Looning Serving at the Edeberry. He's passing well right now. Clark out of the back court. The big block by Volleyball and Tom Junkie. Score is 5-4. Aztecs lead in game 3. But IPFW slowly creeping its way back in here.
Big Volleyball put up a 6'9" block that time.
Back out to him. That time we have a touch call. And the side out will go to the Aztecs.
Schlegel's another hitter that's really been hot tonight. Dons are having a hard time stopping that left hand.
Tom Junkie, you don't take his power. He hits with a lot of power.
Keep that ball down in front of the 10-foot line. Back row defense had no chance.
Middle blocker for Aztecs need to put their right shoulder on his right shoulder. Mataraki out of the back court. Looning's there. That time we're getting closer to having it pop up to Loy.
Crowd sitting back, waiting for the Dons to explode like they did in the first game. Couple big digs onto target that they can convert to points. Could get this crowd fired up and really help the Dons out.
Schlegel, 6'3" senior out of Palos Verdes, will serve. Moldovar still passing well out to Papaleo. He puts that one down with a lightning speed arm. Just to Southmore. Tom Junkie serving aggressively for the Dons out of the backcourt. Mataraki, and he sends that one very long.
San Diego State asking for a touch here. We'll get a chance to see it again. Didn't look like there was any touch there.
They tie it up 5 apiece. Schlegel with a shackle.
And another service ace for Tom Junkie. That's about his 3rd one of the match. He's really got his serve working tonight.
The ball seems to be dropping as soon as it gets over the net. Giving that low floater and let it drop off the table. Edeberry got his feet mixed up. It's back to Edeberry.
Edeberry beats that one through the block.
He'll go back and, excuse me, Tagori Evans will serve. Out to Edeberry. He puts that one in the bottom of the net.
Volleyball to serve.
Loy's tipping's got to be a little more effective. It's getting a little too predictable, putting it in the same place all the time.
Edeberry hits that one in front of Loy there. Side out goes to the Aztecs. We're pretty much at a stalemate at 5-6. IPFW leads game 3. This is your 1991 Spring Fling Tournament. Promising you some exciting volleyball action. Fred Malcolm off the block. Edeberry's there. Evans will kick it out to Mataraki. And Fred Malcolm. He'll put that one straight down. Get out the shingles, Ma.
Here we see that last one again. Evans sets the ball out to Matarucci, and it's straight down.
That one hit wide by John Ross. The Dons widen the gap in the lead a little bit. They lead 7-5. Papaleo with the service ace. They go ahead 8-5 in game 3. We're going to have a substitution for the Aztecs. Greg Anderson for number 9, Eric Edeberry. They take out one of their stat leaders for the Aztecs.
Edeberry's really been struggling tonight. Really having a hard time passing the ball.
There's a nice pass by the newcomer, and Ross puts that one away.
Makes Coach Hen look pretty good. Comes in, person that he substitutes in, puts a perfect pass on.
Moldovar with a nice pass. Second option. Almodovar squeaks that one way inside, and Sean Clark's back into the corner a little bit. The Dons kicked it up a notch.
Norman's really hitting a good sharp angle inside.
Schlegel, Evans, Mataraki high off the block, and Papaleo says you're easy. Out to Almodovar, he tools the block. The digging of IPFW by Raul Papaleo scores point number 9.
That's what you were talking about earlier. They keep getting a little more each time. That time they were able to convert on one. Fred's service just wide, just a couple inches out.
Just a bit outside. John Ross serving to Almodovar. Back out to Norman. That time blocked deep. The coverage for IPFW is in tight. With a big block like San Diego, you need to come in tight on coverage, and they just happen to block it deep that time.
One of the few balls that the Aztecs have been able to block. Passing continues to be very good for the Dons. Let's hope that they can side out here, score 6 more points, and take game number 3.
Overpass, and Looning's there. Papaleo, off-speed shot. Evans sends it off of Moldovar's hand.
Dons are still fighting. Great hustling plays by Tony Looning. Crowd's getting a little anxious. They want the Dons to turn it around. Turn on the pressure a little bit. John Ross back serving.
Almodovar again with a nice pass. Junkie, even his off-speed shot hit the floor. His mishits, his shoulder shots, they all seem to hit the floor.
As we see the Royal Dons section enjoying that great kill by Tom Junkie.
Mataraki puts it high over the block. And the Dons slow it down a little bit by wiping up some perspiration. And Tony Looning's out there playing. You're definitely going to see a lot of sweat on the floor. Not that the other players don't work hard, it's just that Tony likes to sweat.
Norman serves one into the antenna. Ball's out of bounds, side out to the Aztecs.
And Mike Schlegel will serve for the Aztecs. Almodovar puts it right up to Loy that time. The junk man hits it high off the block.
This time it's the Aztecs. Going to slow things down a little bit as we take a look at that last play.
Great pass by Norman. Again, the Dons can run anything they want to when the pass is there. Now they need to kick up their defense, and the crowd wants to get them going.
Ooh, just wide.
Served wide. Kind of quiets your own crowd.
Coach Ball definitely not pleased with that performance.
Back out to Papaleo. Mataraki's there. Evans scrambles. Sean Clark hits that one inside.
For number 10, Sean Clark. The assist for Tigor Evans.
Sean Clark will now go back and serve for the Aztecs.
Papaleo out to Tony Looning. Ross sends it up to Evans. The number 11, Greg Anderson. The substitution that Coach Henn made just a few points ago proves to be a wise substitution. That one served long. Sean Clark not having a good evening serving.
Now his ratio of aces to errors is definitely decreasing now.
Papaleo pushing Anderson back. He hits that one high off the block. It's nice to see players come off the bench and play as hard as that Greg is right now. They're not over there wishing they were in the game.
Great dig by Tony Looning. And another big dig.
That one hit wide. There's a net violation by Tony Looning. Some great defense by IPFW.
Dons are starting to dig a lot of balls out there.
Here we see right here. Backs at to Mataraki. You're easy. He sets it up again and he hits that one wide. But Tony Looning was in the net. Anderson serves that one wide. Helps the Dons out a little bit as they got a little adrenaline flowing on those last few plays. Malcolm back to serve. He goes after Anderson. Volleyball sends that one up into the bricks.
Anderson's come off the bench and he's really passing nails right now. Everything that he touches goes right on target.
Passing really well. Either IPFW needs to serve more aggressive or change their serving scheme a little bit. Tom Junkie hits that one wide.
Set might have been just a little bit low as Tom hit it down on top of the net.
Almodovar with a great pass. Out of the backcourt is Malcolm, yet to be stopped from that right position. 5 for 5 out of the right side.
Mataraki trying to travel along the net, didn't get himself squared up to penetrate. Fred used him out of bounds.
Looning pushing Schlegel. Back out to Schlegel, the lefty. That one's hit long, and that's going to give a point to the Dons. They tie it up 10-10 in game 3. Neck and neck, all the way to point 15.
Let's see, quite a match here the rest of the way.
Schlegel, they mixed up their serving a little bit. That time blocked way inside. Anderson having a tough time, but pops it up.
Schlegel, a great left-handed shot down the line. Matarucci
almost clips Looning. Norman Almodovar to serve. Get the Dons going again. Anderson. That time, great save by Tagore Evans. Ball looked like it was heading for the antenna.
Caught the Dons blockers.
You see it.
Sleeping.
Looked like the ball had crossed the plane, but Tom Pingle's right there. He can see much better than we can from up here. Back to Malcolm. That time, coverage is off his shoulder. Sean Clark has to handle that. It's out to Anderson. Volleyball blocks it off into the antenna. Tom Pingle telling the San Diego State players to stay on the bench. Tom Junkie.
He went up there with a lot of authority that time. He wanted that ball, and Volleyball put it right there for him.
Out of the backcourt, Mataraki. Junkie couldn't get out of the way of that 200-mile-plus ball coming at him. Well, maybe a little exaggeration. Papaleo puts it up tight. Mataraki's there. Sean Clark has to handle it. And Anderson squeezes that through the block. It's going to give the Aztecs the lead in game 3, 12-10. IPFW calls timeout.
Coach Ball definitely not happy with the selection of Sun setter Lloyd Ball that time. Lloyd's got to change that shot. He's tried to go to the well once too often. The Aztecs are making it look easy.
Let's ask Coach Hen of San Diego who he thinks will compete in this year's Final Four in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Well, the only one I can tell you for sure will be USC. USC is really good. They've got all their players returning from the national championship team of last year, plus a couple of additions that make them even stronger than before, and their record certainly shows it. The rest is up for grabs, and you know, we're kind of keeping our fingers crossed, but you never know. Coach
Hen could be exactly right on his prediction of USC. The #1 team in the country has not lost a match this year, keeping it rolling from last year when they won the NCAA championship. Papaleo. That time, that one's straight down.
That time Evans got caught admiring his great serve down the line. Lloyd Ball just tipped it over in front of him.
And again,
Evans couldn't come close to it.
see Lloyd Ball, the concentration on the freshman's face. Going for point number 11. Schlegel puts it up. It's a second option play. And he puts that one into the box. Pretty hit by Anderson. Number 10, Sean Clark. Question is, can he serve this one in this time? He's having trouble with his serve.
Definitely been struggling tonight.
That time he gets it in, and Papaleo has trouble. Nice bump pass out to Looning, and he gets a high block deep into the court. It goes 13-10 to Aztecs.
Anderson, another big block for the sub.
Anderson coming off the bench, just playing incredibly. And that one slips through Mataraki and Ross.
Raul Papaleo back to serve for the Dons.
Anderson continuing to pass very well.
John Ross with the big 31 hit out of the middle.
Almodovar, great pass back out to Norman. That time squeaks it through the 6'8" hands of Mataraki. IPFW need to kick it on right here.
Need a big block right here. Need a big block.
Shouldn't give the Aztecs any more chances. Anderson again. This could be a point for the Dons. Not with the blocking of Ross and Mataraki.
Definitely should have converted on that free ball. Went high off the block. Almost a free ball.
John Ross, he's serving for the Aztecs. Blooper over to Norman. Tom, the junk man.
Junkie with another big block, or big crush on the 31 out of the middle.
And Tony Looning awaits ball to be wiped off.
Dry ball out there.
Schlegel, nice pass, runs around the outside, and Norman turns his hands to the bleachers. IPFW right now having trouble turning their hands into the court where they can score off those blocks.
Mataraki back to serve for the Aztecs.
Volleyball throws that one down.
Have a yellow card warning going out to the Aztec bench. Trying to do too much refereeing from down there.
Next card will be a point for the Dons if the San Diego State players want to come out again. Schlegel puts it up to Evans, back to Schlegel. Looning with the one-arm punch. Backs at to Clark. Malcolm's there. Looning out of the backcourt. It's off the block that time. Papaleo kicks it up to 6'9" ball. High off the hands. It's going to be a point for the Dons. As they close the gap, they trail 11-13 by in the third game.
San Diego State takes the timeout, trying to drop the momentum, cool the players down a little bit, trying to do a little too much refereeing out there on the court.
Need to settle down, get some water in them. IPFW starting to kick it up. They need to really come out in a ball of fire here.
Okay, right now we're going to ask Lloyd Ball, who do you expect to see in the championship match?
Well, hopefully us for one. You know, we have to play San Diego State first, and they're a real quality team. We lost them before out in California, but I feel if we play well that we can compete and hopefully overcome them. In the other game, you know, Ball State has their two stars back, and they're playing well. And I don't know much about Santa Barbara, but I'd look for probably Ball State to go ahead in that, and hopefully we meet them in the finals.
All right. So, Lloyd's prediction of Ball State and Santa Barbara didn't come out right, but let's hope this one is. Malcolm up to Papaleo. He kicks it back to Malcolm. Clark with the hands. And a big roof by Papaleo and Junkie. Looks like IPFW's put Lloyd Ball on the left side so he can block Mataraki. And Raul Papaleo is going to set this rotation. And almost worked that time. Lloyd didn't press, penetrate the net.
Strategy was good, they just didn't.
Very smart coaching on the part of Arnie Ball and Denny Johnson. But all that work doesn't help when they get a service ace from the Aztecs there. They go ahead, they're serving for game point in game 3. It's 14-12 from Aldivar. Outside to Papaleo. He puts it down.
Put it down with authority.
He's swinging very quick.
Found a hole in the block and put it right through.
That's the key in hitting hard, is swinging very quickly. Malcolm's there, but he sends that one wide and long. Evans serving for game number 3 for San Diego State. Short serve, Papaleo's there. Kicks it back out to him. Off the head of Clark.
IPFW stays off another game point.
Back to Anderson. Craig Anderson with another kill, the assist by Evans. Sean Clark will serve for game 3. Papaleo. And he's swinging like a madman out there. He doesn't want to give up game 3. Let's see if he can get some key digs back there now. Goes after Anderson, he puts it on. Junkie's there, but he sends that one up into the rafters.
Another big kill out of the middle for John Ross.
Anderson serving for game 3 off the shoulder of Aldivar. That's going to give game 3 to the Aztecs. Duplicating game 2, they win 15-12. Best 3 out of 5 game match. The Aztecs lead right now 2-1. Dons came out in game 1, just a ball of fire, winning 15-1. And in game 2, the Aztecs halfway through decided they wanted to play some ball, and they won 15-12. Pretty much were dominating this game until the Dons decided to turn it up. It was just a little bit too late. And Aztecs win 15-12.
There's a few too many errors, too many unforced errors. You gotta keep the ball in play, gotta keep the passing on target. We thought they had them for a little bit. They were starting to dig the ball on target. Got a couple big plays out of their backcourt.
We'll be right back after these messages, so don't go away.
When two people feel the way that your mother and I do about each other, there's a strong desire to express that love. Are you listening?
Dad, is this a sex talk? Because if it is, I already know all about it.
Oh, you do?
Uh-huh.
How well do you know all about it?
Well enough.
Well enough. I know you and your friends, you know it all. Just humor me. You know about pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel about responsibility.
Yes.
How much do you know about AIDS? Looks like we have a couple of things to talk about, huh? Joshua, someone can have the AIDS virus for a long time and not even know it.
There are people out there who need help, but don't have anyone with the right skills and knowledge to turn to for help with their taxes. You or your organization can be there for someone who needs help. Volunteer your time, and the IRS will volunteer the training to help make someone's taxes less taxing.
Some people think Social Security is just for retirement.
But if a serious illness or injury puts you out of work, Social Security can pay disability.
Even if you're years from retirement.
And it would pay your family survivor's benefits if somehow your life gets cut short.
So what benefits can you expect? Find out by calling 1-800-2345-SSA.
For your own personal earnings and benefit estimate statement. Social Security, it's not just for retirement.
It's for life.
We're back live at IPFW in the Volleyball. We're seeing some top-notch men's collegiate volleyball action with third-ranked team in the country, San Diego State, against number 11 IPFW Mastodons. Real barn burner, Colin.
That's right. Neither one of these teams is going down very quickly. They're going down swinging. And that's the way power volleyball at this level should be played. Dons need to turn up the intensity just a notch. They could conceivably have won both the second and third games. They lost 15-12 in both of those. They were in them to the end. They just got to push it all the way. Cut out a few of the mental mistakes. We could see a 5-game match here real easily.
I agree with you, Colin. We saw some very strong hitting towards the end of game 3 out of Raul Papaleo. And he's continuing to prove he's a contender for an All-American spot. Volleyball passes off the net a little bit, tries to dump it, and it doesn't work. So the Aztecs jump out to a 1-0 lead right away in game number 4. Papaleo passes it up to Volleyball. Again to Papaleo. Schlegel's there. Malcolm backs off. Great dig by Mataraki. It's going to be 4 hits on the Aztecs.
Great play by the Dons. The Aztecs keeping the ball alive. Fred buried that one deep.
Volleyball, the quarterback for the Dons. Go back and serve.
They got to go out there and make the Aztecs earn their points. Cut out on the unforced errors.
Right now, the Dons playing laid back like I said in game 3. They need to break this team, not just wait for them to make mistakes.
Volleyball close again on the dig. They're oh so close. They just got to start pulling those out. Sean Clark back serving.
Fred Malcolm, and then Evans is there. Anderson kicks it up to Ross.
The hustle by the Dons, but they can't get the ball back over. Another point to the Aztecs. They lead 2-0. Game number 4. They lead 2-1 here in this best 3 out of 5 game match.
You get 2 blockers up like that, Ross did. He tips to the right because usually the left back person stays back. What his job is, like Raul was in that position, he needs to come up the line a little bit and expect that tip so he can play it directly to the setter. Papaleo squeezes it through. Evans makes believe he has it.
Raul, on that one play, he got kind of back behind the block. You got to stay up inside the block where you can see the hitter, read that tip and go get it.
See that last play here. Papaleo squeezing it through the block. And Raul Papaleo will serve for the Dons, trying to get something going for the Volleyball in game 4. He throws up the jump serve. And Schlegel's there, handles it easy. Henderson with the second option play by Evans. Things are going well for the Aztecs.
Their passing has really turned around here in the last couple games.
Henderson back to serve. Almodovar's there, he kicks it back out to him. Schlegel at the chest set. Gets away with that one. Mataraki helps you out and puts it in the net. Fred Malcolm, number 15, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, will serve for the Volleyball. Schlegel hits that one, and Junkie and Looning are there. Gives it back to Schlegel. Roll shot. Papaleo's there. It's a tough one to handle. Tight pass. Lloyd Ball, being 6'9", still has trouble with the shoot pass up there.
Tried to get a little too cute with the one-hand set. Pushed it past the hitter just too far.
Side out. We'll have another service error by the Aztecs. Time for the Volleyball to take advantage.
Tony Looning back serving with a short serve. Left Evans
there.
is in the net. No call.
Schlegel, and Lloyd Ball blocks that one out of bounds. Chance for the Dons to get a point. And they're giving it back to the Aztecs. And that one served very long. Looning getting out of the way again.
Norman Almodovar back to serve.
And he serves that one at Schlegel. Pops it up. It's out of the backcourt is Mataraki. He rolls that one into the net. The Dons are on the board. It's 1-2. Dons trail the Aztecs of San Diego. Schlegel to Evans, and Sean Clark puts that one through.
Good choice as to the assignments and blocking that time. They had Lloyd Ball up against Sean Clark. Clark won that battle.
Schlegel serving for the Aztecs, and Almodovar puts it up. He kicks it. Papaleo having trouble with that one. Fred Malcolm says you're easy. Lloyd's going to give it back to him. And that one's in.
Great shot by Fred, right on the line. Great dig to start it all off.
Great defensive play by Fred. That's what the Dons need right now. Hopefully that will ignite some of their defense. Henderson blasting that one off the shoulder of Almodovar.
Norman mad at himself for not getting it. Thought he should have had it.
Malcolm high off the block, and Evans is there. Sets Ross. Norman back on his heels, not ready to play.
Got to get back into that base defense quickly. That time Norman was a little slow getting back.
We'll have Tagori Evans serving for San Diego. As he waits, we wipe up a little bit more sweat. Papaleo with the pass to ball. It's a quick set to Malcolm. And Sean Clark's there, got his left hand on it. Looning out of the back court. Puts it down in front of number 8, Schlegel.
Side out to IPFW. Lloyd Ball to serve.
Nice choice that time by Lloyd Ball. Got Tony one-on-one out of the back row.
And we see it, a little deflect. Malcolm puts him right back on target. And Lloyd Ball serves that one into the net, giving the Aztecs a chance to score again. Volleyball's playing with very low intensity right now. It's very hot in this gym. They need to put everything out of their mind and play right now. Nice back set, one-handed back set. One-handed back set to Papaleo. Nice save by Lloyd, being 6'9". That helps quite a bit when it's on top of the net.
Be a replay on the point.
We're going to call a replay on that last point as the line judge said he was screened from the play and couldn't make a correct call. Looked awful close from up here.
Good call by Dan Springhoff, though. If he doesn't know what it is, shouldn't call it. Clark sending out to Maddock, and he uses Papaleo. They score point number 4, and they're coming out.
Great dig that time by Schlegel in the back row for the Aztecs.
To Moldovar. Out to Luning. He puts that one down the line.
Number 14, Tony Luning, the assist for Lloyd Ball, side out, IPLW.
Evans dug in back there. Couldn't quite make the play. Tony really crushed it.
Last play. Tony's got line all the way. He's digging back. He jumped at the last second. Ross hits that one off Junkie. And Papaleo trying for it, but can't get it.
Nice job by Tom that time, holding base. Tell you to go to base defense to set up for that one ball.
Well, Moldovar hits that one long. Aiming for hands, but can't get him. It's going to give a point to Aztecs. 5-1, they lead in game 4. Volleyball right now playing with low emotion. Miscommunicating there. Now Moldovar off the hands there. As you mentioned, Colin, the right back person, or as you're from behind, the left back person likes to cheat up into the middle of the court, and that right back into the corner is wide open. Anderson having a tough time handling that. Ross off the hands and ball's there. This could be a point.
Ball just a little bit wet. Tony Luning couldn't handle it. Tried to get it into Tom Junkie on the one ball. Tony is also a former setter, so they shouldn't be surprised if he does go to the middle.
Junkie. His percentage in the 1991 season is incredible.
Here we see that last play again. Boom.
Schlegel. That one is hit wide. No question by the San Diego's team. Schlegel knew he hit that one wide. Come the Volleyball. They want to play some defense, get back into this game, and they can do it. It could go 5 if they decide to turn it on.
Schlegel with another tool shot off the block into the stand.
Boy, ball with the miss set there. It's getting hot, a lot of perspiration on the ball.
Right now the Dons are really struggling.
San Diego State leads game 4, 6-2 over the Volleyball. And now Moldovar breaking down a little bit. A big block by Norman Almodovar. And I think you'll see timeout by Coach Ball.
Right now we're going to go and ask Raul Papaleo, who do you expect to see in the championship match?
San Diego State is the strongest team. They're number 3 in the country, and they have a good setter, great defense, and tall guys. I think they're playing real well right now. I think they're the best team right now.
All right. San Diego State coming out very strong in game 4. Norman and Moldovar getting a little fired up.
Doing a little talking through the net there.
Not a good time for that to happen.
Not when you're down 2-1 and 6-2.
Norman Moldovar to serve for the Volleyball. He goes after Schlegel. Takes it backcourt to Mataraki.
Mataraki buries that ball in the middle of the court.
Norman getting Mataraki fired up. That's not a wise choice when he's 6'8". Moldovar off the block. Norman out to Papaleo. Papaleo down the line.
Crowd's starting to come to life now. They don't want to see the Dons go down in 4. They want to see them take it to 5 right now.
Tom Junkie will serve at Schlegel, and Evans kicks it out to Anderson, and he gets that one through the block. Talking seemed to fire the Aztecs up a little bit, and the Dons quiet down. See if Papaleo and the Moldovar can get things going with their passing here. And Raul, nice pass, back out to him. That time it's hit wide. Point number 7 goes to San Diego State. They lead 7-2 over IPFW. Evans still serving for the Aztecs, goes it to Moldovar, up to ball. He tips, and that time Anderson's all over that.
Block, attack, kill for number 11, Greg Anderson.
Anderson really went up there and grabbed that ball.
That
like
time.
some of the rebounds by some of these NBA teams.
Loy has got away with it the past 3 games. Anderson's all over that one. I believe Loy was tipping with his back to the net. You can't do that. You can't see your blockers. You need to turn and look and see if they're there. Short serve into the net. Side out to the Volleyball. Score is 8-2, and Loy Ball will serve.
Dons need to capitalize right now. Good serve.
Goes after Anderson, who's passing nails. Sean Clark from the back 1 ball. Sean Clark, he'll go back to serve. He's a 6'6" junior out of Malibu, California.
Seeing a lot of young players out here. Could be seeing all these players for a number of years.
And that one's a service ace by Clark. Has to be his first tonight. And he hasn't been serving well tonight, but when it comes down to the end, you serve aces, that's all that counts. Moldovar up the ball, back out to Papaleo, swings all the way around. That's going to drop into the court.
That makes the score 10-2 in favor of the Aztecs. Volleyball's looking really flat right now.
Clark with a rocket to Moldovar, back out to Looning. Time he blasts that off of Clark in the back row, and we have a net violation by the Aztecs. IPFW trailing 10-2 in game 4.
Crowd's still hanging on here. They want to see the Dons come back.
It's never too late. Ross with a dig by Junkie, but we have a net by number 15, Fred Malcolm. Great dig by Tom Junkie, just throwing a hand up. Greg Anderson from Moldovar to ball, back set to Looning. And we have another net violation, this time on the Aztec side. And Mike Mataraki raises his hand, saying, I did it. Sorry, guys. Malcolm serving at Anderson. Nice pass by Greg. Schlegel uses Looning that time.
Schlegel's been one of their top hitters tonight. He's really been unstoppable, using that block quite often.
John Ross serving for the Aztecs. Back row to Malcolm. Little roll shot.
Mataraki at 6'8".
Trying to reach
quite
back.
hang up there long enough.
Trying to reach back and play it. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Here we see it again. Time he got a hand up. Open palm. It's good for the blockers. Sometimes if they're back down on the ground and they're turning, go ahead and play that ball. But if they're still up in the air and they reach back, then it really messes up the back row. Volleyball. Time Evans wins the joust. The 6'1" senior pushes a 6'9" freshman away.
So his years of experience paid off right there.
Mataraki fakes the jump serve, comes up, little blooper, and it's wide. The Dons have another chance to get back into this match. Serving of Norman Amaldavar could get things going here. Second option play to Schlegel, and he hits that one at will, wherever he wants to. Okay, we have Mike Schlegel still serving for the Aztecs. It's 10-2 in game 4. Things have quieted down a little bit in the Mastodon. Amaldavar with a nice pass to ball. It's out to Papaleo. He puts it in the corner. Raul Papaleo still holding on with everything he has. He wants to go 5. Immediately following the match, we'll have the Glenbrook Dodge Hyundai player of the game for IPFW. Anderson, looning with a dig. Anderson kicks it out to the backcourt of John Ross.
Ross puts it down from the back row.
So Corey Evans serving for San Diego State. He's going to try to get him point 11. They've been stuck on 10 for a while. The Volleyball are holding on with everything they have. Papaleo to Loy Ball, out to Papaleo. Tom Junkie's there. Then we have some Spider-Man for the Aztecs. Greg Anderson decides to pull it down.
Trying to climb up there, get a little bit extra height. Good fake that time by Loy Ball. They knew he was in the front row.
Loy Ball brings out the jump serve. And it's served long. Sean Clark will go back to serve. We saw him last time around. He served some aggressive serves. He came out with an ace. High floater. Amaldavar's there to ball. Backs at the Papaleo. Tip. That time, Schlegel lays on the ground. Nice hustle by Mike.
Smart shot by Raul that time. Changed it up. He's been pounding away at him. Raul will now serve for the Dons.
Ball dropped as soon as it got over the net. It's out. Second option, Anderson off the shoulder of Loy. Great dig. It sends a free ball to the Aztecs. Blocked, then back. Some great defense. We have a nice rally going. The first one of all night. Fred Malcolm.
Great plays on both sides of the net, and the Dons win the rally. Brings the crowd to their feet. Big stuff blocked by Fred Malcolm.
Fred turning it on right now.
Crowd trying to get the Dons going, hoping that big block by Fred is the start of something good. They need the big comeback right here.
Raul Papaleo, that gets them off a point too. Raul serves it Schlegel. He passes it up. John Ross. Junkie's there. He sends it off to Coach Hen.
Greg Anderson back to serve for the Aztecs. And a big service ace
by Greg Anderson.
Service ace for Greg Anderson.
Greg Anderson still to serve for the Aztecs. 11-3 they lead in game 4. IPFW trying to hang on. And that gives him a little break.
Nice hit that on that serve. Put it right in the net. Break for the Dons. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Overpass. Looning puts that one away. 4-11. Here come the Volleyball. They want to go 5 games, and so do we. And that one is served long. Volleyball need to pass right now. Get a side out. Ross serves it to Moldovar. He puts it up to Loy. Junkie off the hands. Automatic. Tom Junkie.
Junkie's been unstoppable. It's just they haven't been passing as consistently to getting the ball.
They go after Anderson. Schlegel and Looning's there. Volleyball tipping a little bit too much right now. Out to Moldovar. He squeaks inside.
Point number 5.
Crowd picking it up. Volleyball needs to keep setting. They're all over his dumps. That one hit into the cheerleaders. Sorry, they're not eligible to play this game tonight.
Timeout to San Diego State. This crowd's starting to come to life. Dons have rolled off 3 unanswered points here.
The dormant Dons have come alive. Just in time.
Coach Ball planning some strategy. Trying to get the Dons fired up to continue this run.
We asked Coach Hen which volley Don would give him the most trouble when they played San Diego State.
You know, they lost one of their middle blockers out in San Diego with a separated shoulder, so we don't really know how he is, if he's even back yet. But Fred Malcolm has always been a good player for them, and of course Loy Ball trained with the national team last summer, so we know he's good, and he played well out west. Tony Luning is another one that we're looking to stop. So, you know, they've got a good all-around team, and they spread their attack really well. So.
And that one goes down. Mataraki puts it back. Quiets the crowd down a little bit. Coach Hen is exactly right. For the Volleyball have a well-rounded team this year. They can't rely on one person to take control of the team. Mataraki will serve for San Diego State.
Put that last one ball down with authority. See if we can get a service error out of it.
Moldovar, trouble pass.